Look at the fourth place man, he's 0.13 behind, so you've got to think those four are looking pretty tasty for a scrap.
Absolutely, and just looking down the lineup there, it appears that several people have got different overalls. I mean, Tyler Mays is now in white. Was he not in black yesterday?
Oh, that's a good
Could
point.
cause some confusion for us up here.
Well, maybe he's, maybe he was evil yesterday, and now he's turned to the good side.
Well, you never know. He's popped his white hat on, perhaps. But the lineup: Wotjek Grzyb, the Polish driver, he's four times. He's the Polish gearbox kart champion. It's his brother who's the four times Polish champion. He's here as well. So Wotjek Grzyb is going to start on the pole. Tyler Mays, though, we've seen some good performances from him yesterday. Yep. But I think this is the highest qualifying we've seen. So maybe this is his chance to convert it into a victory in the BRKC this year.
It would be a surprise if Verhoeven wasn't pushing for the win here, though. Do you not think, James?
Oh, Verhoeven is going to be pushing for the win, no question at all. There he is in the 14. We can see him on the screen. They're coming around now to take the start. It's the first start of the day. Now, traditionally, it's very cold on the track on a Sunday morning. We could probably see the lap times be down. There's going to be a lot more movement underneath the drivers in the karts. And here they come. It's Grzyb leads the way. He's going to make the start. And away they go. It's Grzyb from Tyler Mays and Christophe Verhoeven. They're entering the new area here. We've seen some collisions and accidents down the bottom there yesterday, but it all looks pretty clean so far.
Oh, well, that was a brave move there by the number 21 car into turn 3, and I think he's made that stick, actually.
Yeah, 21 was Gavin Williams. He was starting in the 8th place, so it could well be that next time we cross the line, he's listed in 7th. So coming down the backstretch now, it's the opening lap of the opening race of the morning. Very cold out there on the track, a lot of slipping and sliding, so some time to be lost very easily. Round comes Wotjek Grzyb. Wotjek Grzyb over from Poland, followed by Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays, the top British driver in this race, in 2nd place, followed by Christophe Verhoeven. Verhoeven, Belgian expert, and he was 5th here, in the World Championship last year. So Verhoeven in 3rd place is actually 5th in the world as we speak.
Really? That's high.
Very high. Only 4 people better than that.
That's how that works.
So yeah. Okay, so Grzyb is attempting to get away now. He's got maybe a kart and a half lead, but there's a bit of a gap building between Tyler Mays and Christophe Verhoeven. Incredibly, Tyler Mays is really taking the fight towards Grzyb and maybe dropping Verhoeven in the process. If Tyler Mays can catch up with Grzyb, if he can do it alone, he won't have to worry about being attacked by the world number 5.
And Burton is actually having to worry about Sheppard behind him rather than looking forward at the moment. Looking at the qualifying times, you would have thought Burton would be right on the back of the top 4, but at the moment he's looking over his shoulder down the back straight at Sheppard.
Absolutely, it's very true that the track this morning is going to be a lot colder and a lot slipperier. With indoor karting, it's not something you can really be throwing around. You've got to keep it neat and tidy, and it may well be that Burton's just having to be so careful about not sliding and giving time away that he's actually dropping back ever so slightly. We have seen him running right at the front yesterday. He really put up very good showings in every race he was in. So Owen Burton can't be discounted yet, although he is running 4th place at the moment and does look as though he's falling away from Christophe Verhoeven. There comes Burton in the picture now. He's just turned in the 4th place. But it's Grzyb who's putting another lap in 1st place. No pit stops yet. So obviously nobody feels that they've qualified out of position, and really it's they're all probably going to be in for a bit of a long haul now before making the pit stop.
So 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning, still already a very busy gallery here at BRKC, well supported. So hello to everyone in the gallery. Make sure you come and say hello to the commentators at some point. Give us some interesting facts about the drivers you're cheering on.
Down the back stretch, there's Sheppard in the lead. He's got it ever increasingly. Now, Tyler Mays in 2nd seems to be coming under the attention a bit more of Christophe Verhoeven. Christophe Verhoeven is trying to pull away from Owen Burton, and he's closing in on Tyler Mays, the British hope in this race. While Grzyb seems to be checking out, it's Tyler Mays who's 1.5 seconds down, only just in front of Verhoeven. The world number 5 is definitely closing in on the British hope there.
Isn't it amazing though when the drivers suddenly turn their attention to the kart behind, how much pace and how much time they lose around here? So I think Verhoeven now he's looking ahead at Grzyb and going, oh man, Tyler Mays is now really ruining my chance, even in a pit stop, of getting that win. He's not in the pit window, if you like.
Absolutely, and the interesting thing with that, as you say about the pits, is if Christophe Verhoeven feels that he was taking it a little bit easy by his standards in the very early stages of the race, if he feels that Tyler Mays holding up, will we see a pit stop? Will he try and drive his way around Tyler Mays by making a pit stop and then driving faster on a clear bit of track. Here we go.
It's early,
the white
isn't it?
suit, that's Tyler Mays, and here comes Christophe Verhoeven. We can see how tight it is.
But the thing is, yeah, if Verhoeven comes in now, he comes in the pack behind the likes of Gallagher, Stevens, Williams, and if those guys don't get out of the way quickly, if say there's half a second gap on pace, he's going to find himself in a completely different train and lose touch with the top two.
Yeah, absolutely right there, Spanners. It's going to be a little bit early for Verhoeven to be making a pit stop now. He would put himself smack bang where he doesn't want to be, arguably. He'd just have to fight his way through the field. So he's going to be sitting behind Tyler Mays. If he's going to be following somebody, he'd probably prefer to follow someone at the front rather than someone near the tail. Although it has to be said, they're not really falling away too much at this stage. The standard is quite high in this race, quite an even race, this one. As we can see, that although Sheppard is pulling away at the rate of, well, he's got a 2-second lead on the moment, and he is listed as being the fastest on track. He has the fastest lap of this race so far. It is quite tight behind. It's a very, very gradual drop off. There's quite a big chunk there. We're betting on the idea of losing a very good pit stop about 10 seconds, a good pit stop 11, and a not bad being 12 and so far down the line. So yeah, all that would happen for Verhoeven is he'd move towards the back of the pack and he'd have some people to work through. Okay, so there's Bradley Sheppard that we're looking at there, one of these South Coast kind boys, and someone is in the pits. It's Owen Burton. Owen Burton comes into the pits. Startling performance yesterday by Owen Burton. He's really upped his game this year. It's looking good on the pit stop. We're seeing the light on red, the reflection there, and it's gone green. He's definitely made it clean on stops. What sort of time are we looking at? It is, well, it does look like, where's Owen Burton? Yeah, it's about a 12-second stop, that one, so it's not the fastest, but, you know, not the end of the world either.
I'm struggling to understand what Burton was gaining from that. He wasn't being held up, he was in 4th place. Verhoeven was a little ways ahead. Sorry, 14 into the pits as well.
Yeah,
so
it's Christophe Verhoeven, the one we were talking about, possibly making the pit stop to get away from Tyler Mays. He has taken that stop, and he's going to answer our questions of where he's going to come out. And the answer is it's just ahead of Carl Stevens. That's going to put himself 8th place, but he's ahead of Carl Stevens. He's got Ciaran Gallagher running in front. Now, what sort of times is Ciaran Gallagher pulling? Well, Christophe Verhoeven's best has been a 34.3. Ciaran Gallagher's last is a 34.9. So Gallagher's running maybe just half a second off Verhoeven. So that's not going to be the end of the world in terms of lap times, I wouldn't have thought at this stage, Spanners.
Yeah, well, the problem is, yes, he might have the lap times, but what if, is it Gallagher ahead of him? What if Gallagher's not running consistently? That 2 seconds is not even 2 seconds. He closed down very quickly, and suddenly, oh, there's a big scrap there past the control as well. Trying to see who's involved in that.
Yeah, one in the pits.
And another one in the pits, so that's 18 in the pits.
18 is...
or it could be 16.
It's
sorry.
Carl Stevens. Carl Stevens in the pits there, the 18. A few early pit stoppers now. Obviously, Carl Stevens feels that he needed to get that pit stop out of the way. There's Bradley Sheppard. He's been chased down by Jim Lovell there. We can see Sheppard with the orange helmet. There's Lovell completely in white suit and predominantly white helmet. There's Sheppard. There's Lovell. And these two guys are...
big contact there from number 21. That's Williams making a pass on Tyler Mays. Mays has lost 2 places now. He's lost out to Lovell and he's lost out to Williams, all within the space of 1 lap.
Well, this is bad news for Tyler Mays. Now, he was, well, he'd originally qualified second. He was running second. There's Tyler Mays just about turning in now in the 11 in the white suit there. So that is Tyler Mays losing out some positions. Sheppard's coming in. Sheppard's coming in. He waves his South Coast karting teammate Jim Lovell through. And Bradley Sheppard brings it into the pits. He's dropped down from 2nd place. We'll see where that puts him. He clearly believes he needs to get the pit out of the way, but he was actually leading a group there. He's come out just in front of Owen Burton. Look at this.
Oh, well, there, Burton's lost a place overall through the pit stops then to Sheppard, because Sheppard was running behind. This is what I couldn't understand. I don't know what Burton was pitting out of the way of. Perhaps he just wanted to get that pit stop done, but now he's found himself behind Sheppard.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, Spanners, because neither Burton nor Sheppard were pitting out of the way of anything at all. Obviously they felt the time was right. Another one's coming in the pits. It's the 13. That, of course, is Ciaran Gallagher. So Ciaran Gallagher's coming in the pits there. He's on camera as we see. That's Ciaran Gallagher coming down the pit lane. We're looking for that reflection of green. He's got the thing going before it goes green. He's shaking his head, but well, I think we've seen a bit worse than that today already. Yeah, that's an 11-second stop there by Gallagher. That'll do nicely at this the way it's been looking so far.
That's good news for Verhoeven as well, because Gallagher was the car in front on track. We've got 16, I think, coming in as well. But that's
Jim Lovell. It's Jim Lovell. He's coming out in second place. Here he is, Jim Lovell, South Coast karting boy. Normally associated with motorcycle racing as Jim Lovell, but he's taken to karting for this event, and out he goes. Let's see what sort of time Jim Lovell puts in there. Yeah, that was a good one by Jim Lovell. Just 10.5 seconds there by Jim Lovell. Really reading those lights well was the South Coast karting boy. Brother, of course, of George Lovell, and they mastermind that South Coast karting venue down near Bournemouth. So at the moment in second place, well, it's Gavin Williams. Now Gavin Williams was 79th in the championship last year, and now he's running second in the Brkc heat race, just 7.7 seconds behind Wotjek Grzyb.
Now he's been very aggressive in this race, and I think I've seen him make at least 2 passes on track through the snail section into that first turn 3 hairpin. And they had the 4-man train there of Williams. Who else was in there? Lovell.
Yeah, it was
Leppan,
Sheppard and Lovell and the rest. I mean, it was basically half the field, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's what Lovell pitted out of. So he's tried to put himself in some free air.
Absolutely, this is looking very good for Gavin Williams. He's up there in second place. Well, at this stage, you'd have to say a late stop for Gavin Williams would be the ideal. He's 8.2 behind Grzyb, so Grzyb almost in a position where he could actually come in the pits and still come out in the lead, but this is definitely looking very good for Gavin Williams. We're looking at Owen Burton. This is building up again. We've got Jim Lovell heading a little group here involving Bradley Sheppard and Owen Burton. Now, Lovell and Sheppard are in the same team. They're going to want to pull some points away from Burton, so you can expect no favours there from Bradley Sheppard in the orange helmet. Lovell's getting away a little bit, and Sheppard's kind of fighting a bit of a rear gunner action against Owen Burton there as his teammate pulls away. It's looking very good for Jim Lovell. He's been in. Gavin Williams in the pits. Gavin Williams comes out of the pits from second place. He's come right into the middle of the Lovell, Sheppard and Burton battle. Well, it looks like they've actually all 3 of them managed to get ahead, but it's going to make a 4-car battle. So as they come through that new area there, well, we're calling it new, we've had it in for 2 rounds now. There's Gavin Williams, and he's gone right on the tail of the Lovell, Sheppard and Burton battle onto the backstretch. You can see Jim Lovell at the head of that in the white suit. He turns in, got a little bit of a comfortable lead from Gallagher that we're seeing there. Oh, sorry, Sheppard we're seeing there. And there's Owen Burton, and then Gavin Williams. Further back is Ciaran Gallagher. So
Williams has come out right behind the Burton-Sheppard battle. So I think that's pretty much as it was, apart from Burton and Sheppard are swapped in front of him.
Yeah, we're going to have a little look at the times of Gavin Williams. He's, well, just around their sort of pace. It could be argued that maybe he did in fact pit at exactly the wrong moment, because when he was coming out the pits he actually got done by all 3 of them. So it was a little bit of an unlucky
well, there we
stop.
go.
If he'd left it a bit later, he might have been better off.
Mays has got
9, it's Pete Leppan from 3rd place. Pete Leppan pitted from 3rd place. There he is. He's heading out now. What sort of stop was that? That was a very good one. That just over 10 seconds. That was one of the better stops that we've seen by Pete Leppan there. Really getting it right.
But not quite enough to get ahead of that Sheppard, Burton, Williams battle. So now he's at the back of that 4-man train, and they're going to be battling now until the checkered flag.
Absolutely. And the head of that train, of course, is Jim Lovell, and he's now up to 4th place. And then, of course, Sheppard 5th, Burton 6th, Williams 7th, and Leppan 8th. They've actually all pitted and all managed to come out together, although it has to be said, looking at this now, that Jim Lovell is definitely up the pace, and he's definitely pulled away from that group. It really, you have to say, I don't think Lovell's part of that group anymore. He's pulled clear of it. So the 2-wheel man, Jim Lovell, has definitely pulled clear of that, and it is Bradley Sheppard at the head of what is now his own little group. 4 carts there, the one at the tail being Pete Leppan.
So Tyler Mays now, he's out on his own. He has been sort of wrestled down the pack a little bit, but he's got an advantage that he's not in that 4-man pack. He's out on his own.
Yeah, but the worst thing he could do is pit now, because guess what will happen if he pits and comes out? He'll be smack in the middle of that Sheppard, Burton and Williams gaggle there. So he really could avoid being in the pits now. They are almost at the point where Grzyb could come in the pits and come out in the lead. He's 9.9 seconds over Tyler Mays. There's 7 minutes remaining, just under. Here comes Bradley Sheppard there, leading this group. getting defensive there. Looking down the backstretch, Owen Burton having a good look at him there.
Now, if that group is getting defensive, as you say, Tyler Mays is looking at the gap. He's 10 seconds off the lead. The gap he's looking to get into is just ahead of Sheppard, who's 21 seconds off the lead. So that's a net 11 seconds at the moment that Tyler Mays has got to play with. So if these guys start tripping over each other, and Tyler Mays has somebody on the pit wall that can say yes or no, if that gap gets out to 12 seconds, he can pop back out, and I think that is going to be a net second place overall.
Already the benefit is there, because there is now about just over 11 second gap to Bradley Sheppard there, yeah, and that is what a lunge down the inside. That, of course, is Williams. It was Gavin Williams. 79th in the championship last year, and in fact I think he's been passed by.
He's lost out.
Yeah, he did definitely lose out there. He gave it a shot. He was intending to gain a place in that group, though it cost him a place. Let's open things out a bit, and we'll see if Sheppard and Burton can try and pull a bit of a gap on Leppan and Williams. That's what they'll intend to do. It is bad news for Mays, though, because what he doesn't really need is Bradley Sheppard being able to run his own. Bradley Sheppard, of course, comes with a decent CV. He was the Brkc O-Plate Championship winner last summer, so certainly no slouch.
I think Mays might have missed his chance, because that gap has come down from 11 to 10 seconds now from Mays to Sheppard. So it's looking like Sheppard's the third place man overall at the moment.
Okay, well, playing virtual kart manager.
Yeah.
Are we bringing Tyler Mays in right now? This lap?
No, not now. I would have been tempted a lap or two ago, but now you've got to say, all right, well, we've seen Williams and Leppan tripping over each other. Oh, well,
he's brought himself in. Tyler Mays is in the pits, and what sort of stop's going to be? He's moving. Gosh, he couldn't have cut it finer. That is going to be a good stop, surely. Tyler Mays does drop down the order.
He's done it.
He's behind Lovell. He's behind Jim Lovell.
Yes, he is, but he's ahead of that group of four that we've been watching, so he is out ahead of Sheppard and Burton, Williams and Leppan.
Absolutely, he's just ahead of them. That could have turned so bad. There is Tyler Mays. Right behind him is Bradley Sheppard, and right behind him is Owen Burton. In fact, they're so close. Tyler Mays is getting defensive against Burton. This is good news for Jim Lovell, and of course Christophe Verhoeven has moved up into second place now.
So with a good stop, a 10-second gap is just enough. Well, that's how it's worked out.
Well, a 10-second gap is just enough if you can do a 10-second pit stop. That's basically what it boils down to. Obviously, a 10-second pit stop involves taking some big risks on the lights. I think generally what would be nice is a 12-second gap if you can create it.
Yep.
That way, at least, you have got some scope for not, being able to be a little bit careful. The one person we haven't seen in the pits yet, of course, though, is Wotjek Grzyb. That's the race leader. And talking of the 12-second gap, that's exactly what he has got over Christophe Verhoeven. So Wotjek Grzyb could potentially come in the pits now, have a reasonably conservative pit stop, and still maintain that lead with 3.5 minutes to go. And he does come in the pits. It's Wotjek Grzyb, the Polish gearbox champion. He's making his stop. He's got a 12-second lead over Christophe Verhoeven. Here comes Verhoeven. Verhoeven's coming around towards the start-finish line. It's going to be a close one. Here comes Sheppard out the pits. He's gunning that kart, and Verhoeven in the yellow helmet. There goes Verhoeven. There's a kart between them, and Verhoeven's got inside that kart now, so Verhoeven is now potentially in contact with the leader. Here comes Sheppard, white helmet. There's Verhoeven, yellow and blue. So Verhoeven almost did enough to pass Sheppard, but Sheppard could not have made that stop any earlier and got away with this, could he?
No, I have to say that's closer than I was expecting it to be. So I think Verhoeven's done some good work.
Yeah, Sheppard's stop was about 11 seconds. So that was still a good stop, and you can see him leaning out of the kart there, really trying to break the grip of that inside wheel, rear wheel, to help it turn. Lets the kart rotate. As you can see, the car wants to roll around the corner there, and here's the lead for Grzyb. Sheppard's probably done enough, but Verhoeven is the world number 5, so he's going to have his work cut out with just 2.5 minutes to go. There's Sheppard, there's Verhoeven, and that's that battle up ahead. Tyler Mays has not been able to pull away from Bradley Sheppard, so from his point of view, thank goodness he managed to come out just in front of him, because he's certainly not able to pull away.
We've missed something, because Williams is now back up ahead of Leppan as well, and Leppan's a long way back to him, so might try and roll back the VT and see what happens.
Yeah, and definitely Williams seems to be running on his own, albeit about 4 or so car lengths ahead of Leppan. Obviously, somebody's had a shot at somebody there, and it's not
Someone's
quite worked
had a
out.
go. Williams has been super fighty in this race so far. Very, very good racing.
absolutely. So just to recap, with 1 minute 45 to go, it's Wotjek Grzyb who's leading from Christophe Verhoeven, and Jim Lovell is third. This is the highest finish we've seen for Jim Lovell. Owen in, oh gosh, yes, it was Jim Lovell putting someone a lap down. I think it was Carl Stevens gentlemanly moving out of the way, and it looked like he was going to take to the pit lane, but it was just to wave Lovell through. So there is the battle behind Lovell. It's Tyler Mays, Bradley Sheppard and Owen Burton. So Tyler Mays looks like he's able to hold off Bradley Sheppard, but with the time coming down, Sheppard's going to get increasingly aggressive for sure. There's Sheppard in the mid-pack there with the orange helmet. So Grzyb, with just 1 minute to go, still leads from Verhoeven, but it's only 0.6 of a second from Verhoeven. As they're down the back straight, that's Tyler Mays fending off Bradley Sheppard. This, of course, the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th places. And so Grzyb still leads. There's less than a minute to go, just 45 seconds now, and we're going to be bringing the flag out very soon, I'm sure. There is Wotjek Grzyb, the leader, with a white helmet, and he's under more pressure than ever from Christophe Verhoeven. Christophe Verhoeven, the world number 5, is only 0.3 of a second behind. And so Wotjek Grzyb, Christophe Verhoeven, it's very, very tight indeed. And is the checker coming out this time? Yes, it does. And Wotjek Grzyb is listed as the winner. Christophe Verhoeven comes in second. Jim Lovell amazingly gets that 3rd place. A great job there by Jim Lovell to take 3rd. One of the South Coast karting guys from down near Bournemouth. Their kart centre runs the Brkc O plate, and Grzyb sort of waving congratulations there to Verhoeven. Verhoeven really kept him honest. Jim Lovell was 3rd. Tyler Mays managed to grab that 4th place. Bradley Sheppard 5th. Owen Burton 6th. Then, of course, Gavin Williams, he was doing great. And there is Wotjek Grzyb. Wotjek Grzyb would be delighted with that win. He's the gearbox champion of Poland. And then behind him, Christophe Verhoeven is the current, or reigning, I suppose, world number 5. Okay, so Spanners will be down there catching up with some of the drivers. What a great race we saw there. Tyler Mays, enormous pressure from behind in all of them. There's Jim Lovell, you can see with the green and white on his helmet. There's Bradley Sheppard having a word from one of the marshals, so goodness knows what that's all about. And so we'll be getting the heads up from Spanners down in the pit lane in a moment.
Pretty emotional there. Obviously, Wotjek Grzyb, only Polish speaking, didn't want to come on camera with me. But a great win. Timed his pit stop absolutely perfectly to get out ahead of Verhoeven. Tyler Mays there, I think he felt from 2nd place he was going to get a better result than that. Ended up getting really sort of strong-armed down the pits. Actually, a great pit stop, and got in front of that crucial 4-way battle. If I was him, I'd be very happy with that 3rd place, considering the context of the race. But things are heating up, and you can see now it's round 3, and I can see in the drivers' eyes, when they're coming in the pits after the race, it's very, very intense. But do make sure you come and speak to me if you win. I want to hear about your glory, and so does everyone else. Back up to you, James.
Okay, so what a wonderful race that was, heat number 6. A great win there by Wotjek Grzyb from Christophe Verhoeven, and an incredible 3rd place there by Jim Lovell. Really getting up to speed in that race, and a good haul of points to start his Sunday morning. That's Jim Lovell there from South Coast Karting. Right then, heat number 7 of the 3rd round. These, of course, the final races now on the revised circuit. In this one, though, we've got a pretty star cast. We've got Rob Duma, we've got Dwayne Stoddart, Lewis Manley, and Stephen King, Paul Ozan, Patrick Neroda in there, and Joe Llewellyn, Matt West, Matthew Parker, and Tom Eastwood are going to be bringing us something for this one. They're heading out to qualify, and the qualifying is going to begin now. The carts are leaving the pit lane. You can see here, just heading out there, that looked like it was Patrick Neroda. We saw some action from him yesterday, and there, of course, is Rob Duma. Okay then, so as they head out, we're going to start seeing what sort of lap times are going to be set in here, and obviously contenders for the pole position. You cannot look beyond the likes of Lewis Manley, Patrick Neroda. They're the most obvious ones. This is potentially a good chance for Rob Duma and also Paul Ozan to get some serious points, but the others, such as Stephen King, Matt West, Matt Parker, Eastwood, Joe Llewellyn, they're going to be trying to do something about getting towards the front of this field. Joe Llewellyn, of course, is making his international debut today. He's very inexperienced relatively, and quite frankly learning all the way yesterday, but maybe this is going to be his morning. Okay, so they're completing their first lap. They've all completed their out lap. They're all on the qualifier now, and we're going to see the first ones coming through. Times is going to be coming through now. So Matthew Parker's fastest at the moment. He's been beaten by Paul Ozan. Paul Ozan, a veteran from years ago. Joe Llewellyn comes through in fourth. It's Patrick Neroda who's fastest at the moment. Neroda by half a second. Patrick Neroda is looking very good indeed. Dwayne Stoddart up there in fourth place. Rob Duma into second. Lewis Manley into second. Stephen King into third. And Matt West into third. So, my goodness here, Spanners. Patrick Neroda's on the pole. Lewis Manley second. We accept all of that. But what about Matthew West? He was 75th last year in the championship.